thank you. Was I a well-known player before the stream? Not really. I'd say no. I had like some small claims to fame. Like some people knew me because I, pioneered the Is It Phoenix deck in Modern, and I, did have some tournament success. I was pretty well. I think I would say that people in my like local Magic scene knew me pretty well. But as far as like bigger recognition as a whole, I was definitely a nobody, and maybe still am. Breeding Pool Utopia Sprawl on white. Interesting. And Basic Mountain into Rin and 6. Well, no thank you. I guess this is Niv Mizzet. Any thoughts on Deglamour? Jindrak was using it as tech against Heliod that's also flexible. Let me reread it. Like my flexible sideboard card for Heliod is Pithing Needle, which I think is a bit better than the removal spell, especially because like it's so good against Tron to have Pithing Needle, which is also a rough matchup. I think I'm gonna play Ice-Fang here. A land off of either Remand or Ice-Fang allows me to Toski them next turn. But Remand is also like a pretty high value card in this matchup either way. Any Storm experience in Vintage Cube? I've played a ton of Vintage Cube. I know with Brain Freeze, Tindrils, Into the Warrens, which of these should you play? It depends on how good your deck is. If your deck is perfect, you should just play Tindrils. If your deck is medium, you should play Brain Freeze and Tindrils. And if your deck is pretty bad, you probably have to play all three. No, my Toski. Toski! Is Toski good, chat? Probably want one or two Unthanize. I think I have like the first Veil of Summer. Pithing Needle naming Red and 6 also seems kind of nice. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better today. I think just there was a weather change last night and I was a little congested yesterday. Seems like a good configuration to me. Yeah, Toski is not good. Toski is great. I agree completely. 10% hats and 90% Athena, yeah. That's the real secret. Try not to let them know how the... What's the expression? How the something gets made? How the bread gets made? I don't think that's it. How the... I don't know. Beer of Nylea, great username. How the sausage, thank you. Now I'm hungry. Fun to see the evolution of decks. Yeah, it's really, really fun to evolve the decks. Yeah, are Toski's expensive now? I accidentally own 5 because they shipped me an incorrect one. But are Toski's like worth something now? Because I know people have been playing them in Standard too. Card will probably be a good card in Pioneer as well. So I don't know. It's a great card. Honestly, when I first saw Toski, the first place I really thought about trying it was actually Legacy, not Modern, because I'm definitely still a Legacy boomer. But a 4-mana uncounterable creature that can't be bolted did genuinely seem. This hand is so good if we draw a land. I'm gonna mulligan though. Don't have green for the Hierarch. I thought that it would be potentially good in Legacy, but sadly there was Oko just gonna turn your Toski into an elk. But now that Oko is banned, I could actually see Toski doing some work in Legacy. Do I put back Noble Hierarch so I don't just lose to Ren and 6? I think that I will. Toski and Maverick? Like Maverick, or potentially like a blue-green mid-range control deck that plays... You could be like Sultai with Baleful Strix and Ice-Fang and Toski was something I was thinking about. Do you feel like Toski can be good in Modern Elves as a card draw engine? Well, I think Realm Walker is a really good card advantage engine in Elves, but I do think Toski is a good sideboard card for them against control decks. Yes, the problem is, of course, Swords of Plowshares, but Toski definitely gets around, you know, most things still, which is nice. Just because like there are answers to it in the format, but it still dodges just so much. It dodges, you know, every counter spell. It dodges Lightning Bolt. It dodges Fatal Push. It's like Teferi minus, Jace minus, or Swords to Plowshares in Legacy. That's about it. I do usually like Feast and Famine, especially when I have Toski in hand. I'm usually like to get Feast and Famine against Niv. Edred Spymaster or Toski, definitely. Toski, in my opinion, is much better. Paying one more mana to make it uncounterable and indestructible, even at the cost of, you know, one less toughness and power, is absolutely worth it to me. I guess I put a mulligan too. Yeah, they mulliganed to 6. We went to 5 though, but they were on the play. Yeah, it dodges Decay. Skyclave, that's a good point. Skyclave hits it in Legacy. But it's still an incredibly resilient threat. You know, 4 mana cards in Legacy usually come at a really big cost, but they come at a much smaller cost if those 4 mana cards are uncounterable. Like, that's a big part of the reason why 4 mana threats in Legacy are not good, is because you can counter them. I think I want a plus here. It's possible we could have minus on a Sprawl. And it looks like that would have ended up being the better line for us. But it is also nice that Teferi shuts off Bring to Light here. Alright, so I think I'm going to go bounce this, maybe Mana Leak it on the way down. Maybe Spell Queller it on the way down. 4 mana is asking a lot in the World of Wasteland. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But, you know, it's doable. People have played Jace the Mind Sculptor a lot. Definitely doable. How do I feel about True Name in Modern? True Name is a super unfun card, so if I have the choice of having True Name in this format or not having it, it's like a pretty easy decision. Yeah, I think minusing on the Sprawl would have been better last turn. I just do value keeping the Teferi in play because it shuts off Bring to Light, so I was worried about them having another burn spell for it. They played their land first, so I guess they're not planning on Omnathing. Will True Name Nemesis be format warping for Modern? Yeah, True Name Nemesis would suck in Modern. Like, it would just be super unfun. Gully Seagull, 3 months. Cool username. Thank you for your Jeff Bezos bucks. Although, actually, I mean, still Bezos bucks, but Jeff is stepping down, right? They can't Omnath after this. I think I'm going to Queller. Yeah, they can't Omnath because they don't have any more white mana. They've already played their land. If we get to Kai's Guile, like Decay or Trophy here, it's so absurdly good too. Foil Anthonizer almost sold out of TCG player. Did I have anything to do with this? Maybe. I mean, I have been preaching about Anthonize for a while. I bought a play set of regular ones for myself. Said me not to become chairman of the board. Something like that. I don't really, you know, keep up with that kind of stuff usually. I think I'm holding up Leak plus Veil, right? Veil's in sub Guile. Yeah, I think you're right about that. You'll at least cycle it, though. So they're also pretty incentivized to play Omnath before their land, of course, so we should be able to Mana Leak Omnath if that's their play here. They don't even have a play here, wow. Opponent's playing Lurrus of the Dream Den. We are on the draw. This hand is really good against Lurrus if our Hierarch lives or if we draw a land. I think I'm going to keep. They could also be Hammer Time or Mill. That's not likely to kill my Hierarch. I don't know who the best Magic player of all time is. It's kind of hard to quantify best, you know? No big changes to the deck blitz. I think I'm just still at the same 75 I was earlier this week. I really am liking it right now. I think the Red-Black Scourge, I think that Delta way more signifies Red-Black Scourge than... than Jund. Is Noble Hierarch a staple for Bant in any variation? Snowblade. I think there's sometimes you don't want it. Grixis. Wow. Well, my Hierarch is never living here, of course, because they didn't take it with the Inquisition. Land. Kinda. You will live. Noble Hierarch, you're going to live. Too soon. Too soon to say goodbye. Although, how does Grixis ever beat Toski if we can get up to 4 mana? Who do I think outplayed me the most when I played against them? Nobody immediately comes to mind. I honestly have like a really good track record against Hall of Famers and pros, not to like toot my own horn too much. I guess most notably Kai recently I think outplayed me in Standard a bit at the last PT. But before that I got to play against Gregory Orange, LSV, Huey Jensen, and I beat all of them. Those were like my first 3 matches. Brad Nelson played pretty well against me. I played pretty bad against Brad. Honestly, by that point in the tournament, I was just doing so poorly in Standard, I was a bit off of it. Put Luris into their hand. I don't know. I've got a really good track record against Hall of Famers, though. Oh, the Reed Duke bluff. Oh, I forgot about the Reed Duke bluff. Yeah, that's my answer. That was a really good play. Yeah, I think I'm 1-1 against Brad. Maybe 2-1 if you count team events where I wasn't actually his opponent. What was the Reed Duke bluff? Reed attacked with Kroxa and was dead on board if his card for turn was a brick. And I assumed that Reed wasn't going to be the type of player to make that bluff. But did make the bluff. It was like earlier this week. Or I guess it was last Thursday. Yeah, Reed played really well. Of course. Yeah, I'm not saying I'm better than Hall of Famers. I am saying that I've probably gotten pretty lucky against a lot of them. So just to answer that specific question, I don't have a great anecdote besides maybe the recent Reed Duke bluff. Right, land is good. I mean, my opponent can probably just never beat the card Toski if we can resolve it. Is there a clip of it? Maybe. I don't know. It was really cool. I should start collecting your pins whenever they beat them. No one's ever offered me a pin. No one's ever offered me a pin. I don't know if I want to be offered a pin, honestly. Toski! I'm just getting planes, probably. Good luck. Woo! Toski! Awesome. Against Reed, I was playing a Mardu Kroxa Smallpox deck. It was a donation deck, but it was a fun match for sure. Really cool. Is this Luris? I think Reed is up there as one of the greatest Magic players of all time. Absolutely. Reed is, I mean, it's kind of hard to not talk about Reed and to talk about Reed and not talk about also what an incredible role model he is, at least for me personally. Someone I look up to a lot and aspire to be like. But absolutely also just skill-wise definitely up there. I mean, Luris does line up pretty well against Toski if you have just Toski. Gonna chump block to deny the card. Toski! Is Toski good? Is Toski even good? It's a bit better when your opponent just drowns it because they haven't read the card. Even though there's like big flashing, this can't be countered right there. You know, it used to be that Grixis could never beat an Uro. Grixis can also never beat a Toski. It's true. This is Kolaghan's command. I'll just discard another Toski, right? Because they didn't get back Snapcaster. They dealt me 2. Weird. Alright. What a weird game. Do I want Auriok Champion against them? I don't think so, just because Snapcaster blocks it so well. I probably don't want the 4th Force of Negation. I probably want 2 or 3. Are they just on like Lurrus and Snapcaster Mage and Creeping Tar Pit as win conditions? Kind of seems like they are. Gargaroth dodges Bolt and Push though. I might play the first Gargaroth. And maybe like the first Path or Onthanice. Play Onthanice. Yeah, they could be playing small Jace. That's true. They'll play 2 as a hedge against that card. I think that's true. I think you probably have to play either Kroxa or JVP in this kind of deck. They play Valky too? Maybe, yeah. Maybe. Path against Tar Pit? Yeah, I'm not afraid of dying to Creeping Tar Pit. Let's mulligan this hand. Keep this one. Probably putting back Queller too. They're running Drown. Don't think dodging Push and Bolt is as relevant. Definitely not, but you know the fact that it dodges 2/3 of the removal spells, Kolaghan's command 2 is nice. Just like I almost never bring in Gargaroth against like blue-white control, but against Grixis it seems way more reasonable. What hidden village would I be from? I'd probably be like a poor farmer outside of the village that's not a ninja. If I was in the Naruto universe. Well, thank you, Vampiric Tutor. Hitting grass. Just to get stepped on by a perfect Susana, yeah, or a meteor falling from the heavens. Opponent discards Stoneforge Mystic, bolts the Hierarch, sure. They don't have blue mana yet, necessarily. There we go. They knew about this mana leak. Kind of weird for them to just jam right there, but whatever. Was Itachi right all along or no? I know this is bait. Was it better to just play Sword of Fire and Ice there? Probably not. I know this is bait, so I will not fall into it. Might have been better to play Sword of Fire and Ice, but I feel like Ice-Fang maybe is just better to try to hit my land drop. Please do not spoil, okay. Just know there are a lot of Itachi fanboys in the Naruto chat who are willing to forgive a lot of things and also make up that Itachi actually did anything ever. Who's the best Boruto character? I haven't watched a single episode of Boruto and I don't plan to. Just like such a shameless cash grab of my childhood, you know. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have played the Heath. Although we could just draw Toski and win. It's an okay draw. But it doesn't necessarily have the 4th land for Kroxa. They can Kroxa now. I feel like Remand was way more popular like a month ago. What happened? Uro got banned. They chose to do this instead of escaping Kroxa. Uro got banned, and Mana Leak was really, really bad against Uro, but Remand was really good against Uro. And so like when the 2 cards always being very close in power level in any deck, when you had the choice of playing one or the other, it's like, well, do I want to just lose to Uro, or do I want to have Remand, which is good against Uro? And that was why. But now Mana Leak I think is better, especially against the Swift Spear decks. Mana Leak is much better. So if my opponent Kroxas, I think I am going to Veil of Summer the upside is there to find like a counterspell. Does not stop the Kroxa ETB though. Is Remand still right in any list? So I'm playing one in this list. I think like Through the Breach really wants Remand too. There are decks that want it, yeah. I hope I don't draw Toski. That would break my heart. Big draw step. Okay. So what I would most want to draw for this would be like Teferi Time Raveler, probably. I wish for a Teferi Time Raveler. I don't get it. We can block the Kroxa though. The Remand is still a good card, but I think Mana Link's just like a little bit better positioned right now, which I'm excited about. I've just cast so many Remands while Uro was legal. More Remands than I'd probably want to cast ever again. I could take 6 here. Taking 6 is good if I draw exactly Sword of Feast and Famine and my opponent doesn't have anything. I'm going to block. Okay. Just going to do this in case they have like hard cast Force of Negation in their hand or something. Do it now. I guess we're not dead. Who wins if they unban Twin and Eye of Ugin? Twin players and Eldrazi players, but that would be a huge mistake. We talked about I'm not inviting ban talk into the chat, but someone yesterday or earlier this week also suggested unbanning Eye of Ugin, and there's honestly no other card on the ban list I think would be more of a mistake to unban. I have not watched Jujutsu Kaisen. I've heard good things about it though. I might end up watching it. Alright, I feel like 2 on the Nice is still about as much as I want. I honestly feel like Force is not that good in this matchup, though. Maybe I want the first champion. I'll play the 3rd on the Nice. Yeah, I've heard really good things about Jujutsu Kaisen. Just haven't seen it. I don't know. It's like a lot of the things I watch right now, I watch while I'm prepping for the stream. And so it's kind of hard for me to watch any anime that's not dubbed because I like to be like just kind of watch it on my other monitor while I'm prepping for the stream. It's like basically all of my TV watching time right now. So I guess that's why I haven't been watching much anime for like the last few months. I have a Spell Snare? Looks like a Spell Snare. Oh, nope. I'm just getting Batterskull here. I kind of like just saying, hey, you have to kill my Stoneforge Mystic right now. And Batterskull is still a fine threat against every card besides Kolaghan's Command. Or every answer besides Kolaghan's Command. Yeah, Modern is so good right now. I just don't understand people who still want to talk about bans. Is Anthonice better than Path or just testing? Anthonice is better than Path in this deck. Which is a question I am happy to answer 1,000 times a stream. We didn't draw a Toski last game, which is probably a big correlation to us losing the last game. Might be good to jam the Batterskull next turn. Maybe not drawing that. Feels close. Like, they can't drown it. Yeah, I think their 2-mana counterspells are like just drowns, and they can't drown this, so like they have to have Force or Mana Leak. We haven't seen a Mana Leak yet. There it is. Whatever. Take our 2-for-1 off the Stoneforge, I guess. What are my thoughts on Lantern control in Modern? Lantern is not very good, I think, anymore. I don't really feel like it's playable. We did see a Mana League game 1. I guess I just forgot. I think it'll still fine to jam the Skull, though. Could be wrong. I feel like I have the better top decks here. Also, notably, we haven't seen a Mishra's Bauble the whole match. You'd think if they had Lurrus, they would be playing Baubles. Not that they definitely would be, just you would think. Flooding out a bit, but I think I'm okay to just play Draw Go still for a bit. Should probably keep the Fountain in hand to discard to Kroxa or Kolaghan's Command. I don't think I have a preferred snow-covered land printing. I think they're all kind of medium, honestly. Hey, B-boy, how you doing? Spell. Particularly Toski would be good. Do I play Commander? Yeah, I do have a deck. I used to play a lot of Commander. I used to have 3 decks, but now I just have 1. And Sea Monster Tribal. My Commander is Slinvada. Slinvada of the Risen Deep. That's how you say its name. Yeah, will the real Slinvada please stand up? Please stand up. I think we're supposed to cast this here. Yeah, I kind of suspect... I mean, this is just a guess based on nothing, but I actually do get the feeling that Wizards is going to print something in Horizons 2 that will make Phoenix playable. It's just a feeling I've got, you know? That isn't really based in reality or anything. They do have a Kolaghan's Command, which stinks. Thoughts on adding Coma to my EDH deck? I'm not familiar with that card, but it might be in the deck already. Alright, we win, finally. Finally drew the Toski. Oh, blue-green, yeah. Mine is mono blue, and I think I want to keep Slinvada as the commander, both for budget reasons, because my friends we've decided on a $100 budget, and you know, with a kind of a theme around. Everybody should have a theme for their deck, where I've got sea monsters. One person has clerics and the angels that the clerics worship. One person has it's really cool. Niv Mizzet, the 5-mana Niv Mizzet is their commander, and then they have like all the signets, one of each guild mage, one of each charm, and the idea is that the cards don't really work very well together in the same way that Ravnica is not very cohesive because of the guilds not working well together. But I think I want to keep it mono blue, especially because Slinvada is the only tribal payoff commander for the deck that exists. Yeah, lucky my opponent didn't have a counterspell for Toski again. For those of you who missed it, my opponent tried to counter Toski last match. Faceless Looting, draw 2, discard 2. And in parentheses, you can only play this in fair decks, though. Honor system. Did it work? No, it did not work. It did not work. Yeah, but in my Slinvada deck, I've got like all the really bad big sea monsters that do nothing. I also recently added Water Elemental that I found lying around. When I was sorting cards, I added Water Elemental to the deck, which I think is going to be a good addition. Up for a Marriott Lage's Slumber Dono League? No. I really think that card is so bad. Even like in an all-snow deck, the card's not good. I've got Joko Mordor, which is like a big killer whale sea monster. I've got Thing from the Deep, which is, going to chew up on the ship. You go tap draw. I will draw a good card. Do I want to play Hierarch? I think I don't, just in case they have like Damnation. I've got Mararjin, which is eating this little whale, which is pretty good. I've got Cuke Mesa Serpent, just hanging out next to a volcano. I've got Cherix, which is a big crab guy from a recent set. I've got the most expensive card in my deck is Great Whale, and it is a great whale. Probably the best whale in MTG. I've got Kraken Hatchling in my EDH deck. Good old 1 mana 0/4 for 1. This, yeah, Toski does die to Brutality, which is why they boarded it then, I think. I've got Colossal Whale. I do have Quest for Ula's Temple, yeah. But Great Whale is more expensive than that. But I think Quest is like the second most expensive card. Go to combat. Oh, okay, we actually get to do something. I've got Scourge of the Fleets. Always like the art of Scourge of the Fleets. It's about to chew up and bite that ship. I've got Leviathan. Leviathan is huge. It's like riding a tidal wave to eat a lighthouse. Quest for Ulu's Temple is worth money. Yeah, it's like $5 or $6. I can't remember how much I spent on it. Something like that. Fleet Swallower. Yeah, I've got Fleet Swallower. Although Fleet Swallower is actually a fish, so it doesn't work with my Commander Slinvada. But, you know, the things we do for love, right? I do have Engulf the Shore in the deck, yes. Very flavorful. Payoff for the tribal deck. I've also got Polar Kraken, and he's eating the polar bears. Very sad. Wait, my opponent could have Brutality'd my Toski. That's weird. I do have Stormtide Leviathan. Yeah, I've got some playable. Krakens and stuff in here, so I can actually win a game. Add Stormcroak, why not? Interesting. I don't know how flavorful it is. It might be. My commander is Slinvada the Risen Deep, which is a 8 mana 8/8 big sea monster guy. That says with kicker for 2 mana, and if you kicker Slinvada, you return all non-octopus, merfolk, krakens, leviathans, and serpents to their owner's hands. So it's the only tribal payoff commander for sea monsters. Weird. Why are they doing this on my end of turn after I got to draw 1,000 cards? This is like the loosest shit I've ever seen, honestly. They get their Snapcaster back, but then we can Queller the Snapcaster. Is it better than Quellering the Brutality? I think so. They shocked. I do have High Tide in the deck because it combos with Great Whale. It's also kind of flavorful for the deck. But the idea is that I can one thing the deck can do is you can High Tide and Storm off and then play Mind's Desire to hit all the crazy sea monsters and Mind's Desire into the sea monsters. And if you actually look at the art on Mind's Desire, it kind of looks like that's what's happening, right? All the sea monsters are coming out of the abyss. So I thought that was maybe flavorful. Oh, Cosma could be good in the deck. Kind of like Cosma. Pretty flavorful. Yeah, it's really nice to relax and enjoy the flavor of an EDH deck after... Okay, playing against Mill. After, you know, trying to stream as competitive as possible Modern all day, every day. Do I have the Kiora Saga? I do, and it's foil. No, I didn't think about trying to make Pyre of Heroes work in the deck. I don't think it would. Toski. So I'm pretty sure we're going to go Unthanized plus Hierarch here. But we maybe hold up Remand first, just in case. Like, if I put in Drowns this, I'll Remand their Drown, probably. Do I play Reform? I don't. I feel like Reform is kind of expensive, I think, and I didn't think it was like that flavorful. Do I play Taniwa? I'm not familiar with that card. Oh no, that card seems awesome. card seems perfect. Yeah, I'm probably gonna add that one. There's also, I wanted to add a Dan to the deck. I don't have a Dan. Gonna try not to give them a target for this Field of Ruin, I think. I'm also kind of interested in playing Teferi Time Raveler here. Yeah, so let's go Teferi Time Raveler plus Teferi Time Raveler, hold up Remand. I'm going to fetch on my turn to turn off any trap. So yeah, this way if they have their 5 mana milieu, they just can't play it. Mesmerizing. I don't think I have that one either. Oh yeah, I thought about playing that one. Like, that kind of effect does seem kind of medium in EDH, though. Another crab. How do you pronounce the accent on the A in Dan? I think I'm just going to start plussing Jace. Dan Don, interesting. What kind of accent mark is that? Yeah, they can draw Archive Trap for sure. Well, when I say medium, like cards like Mesmerizing, Benthid, Drowner of Hope, they're like moderately costed threats for you know, limited and standard, where I really like the super expensive do nothing cards. Like, those cards really excite me. I think those are awesome. That's like those are the kind of cards I'd like to be playing in the deck. Not just like, you know, cards like Drowner and stuff. I feel like just don't fit the theme as well. I'll put Mesmeric Orb on the bottom. Plus here. Then play Stoneforge. Getting Feast and Famine, Hierarch, attack for 1, or attack for 3. So it's possible I should be not plussing with the Jace, but I think because I got to use all my mana here, it was fine. Why opponent no Field of Ruin and Force of Shuffle? I have all basic lands. You can only Field of Ruin non-basics. Queller's pretty good here. So we're attacking for 6. This is a 3-turn clock. That's also pressuring my opponent's hand. 9. Yeah, I guess we're just going to start brainstorming then. Yeah, and then the Fire Ice will kill them next turn. Why you want 2 counterspells and 1 trap just for draw? Well, if I remand if their turn the following turn after remand is Archive Trap again, we're just winning the game. You know, it's like remand is less of a counterspell, more of like a time walk, where we would love for them for their best play next turn to again be 5 mana, walk into the mana leak that's in the hand. Or remand is maybe going to be worse if we don't get to remand a 5 mana spell. Is Mana Dork the best? Yes, Hierarch is the best Mana Dork with Toski. I understand that. In some situations, like Avacyn's Pilgrim would be better, but Exalted plus tapping for all your colors is just too good to get away from. I feel pretty strongly about that. Anthonyce also better against Mill than Path. I do think that Toski draws too many cards and doesn't provide enough pressure against Mill. Too many cards. If such a thing is possible, it's this matchup. Seems like how I want to sideboard. What are my favorite decks right now? This is one of them. I really like Dimir Control as well. I'm still liking Bant Ephemerate. I think Jeskai is still good, but I'm not 100% sure. This hand is soft trap. Kind of feeling Blue-Red Dragon still, kind of. What about Needle for Polluted Delta? It just feels so narrow. I'm not that interested in doing something like that, I think. I'm fine with Fatal Push here. Have I thought about cutting the third island for any Horizon land? I would not play any Horizon lands in this format. There's just too much prowess and burn, in my opinion. Like, drawing your Horizon land is just a good way to lose the match. Might let this resolve. Really, this is resolve is fine. I'm kind of scared of Mesmeric Orb. They did mill over my Hallowed Fountain, which is the land I wanted to fetch, and my Glacial Floodplain. So I guess I'm getting a basic plains. Just noticed one Misty. What's the rationale? Misty is the worst fetch land, as I've discovered. It took me a while to realize it. But you really want all of the fetch lands that can get a basic plains on turn 1 that can cast on Ice on turn 1. Any fetch land can cast Noble Hierarch, but Misty Rainforest can't play on Ice on turn 1, which is really important in a lot of matchups. And it's not like we have a ton of blue spells anyways. You know, we're not playing Cryptic Command, so like getting those extra basic islands isn't that important. So yeah, it certainly feels good that the most expensive fetch land is the worst one in this deck. Like, you could absolutely play... You could play no Misties if you just don't want to play the 9th fetch. That would be totally fine, I think. But I think you should play the first Misty. I like the mana base a lot. But if you just don't have the Misty Rainforest, that would be fine. They do have at least one Archive Trap. Please don't have 2. They milled over my Feast and Famine, so I guess we're getting Batterskull. Was probably getting Batterskull anyways, though. Do I have any way to get blue mana? Uh-oh, Breeding Pool's gone too. Shit. I guess I was supposed to play Heath. We aren't playing 10 fetches. Yeah, we're playing 10 fetches. That's the number I like. I like the split of fetches we have. I mean, but you like... It's not like you need the Prismatic Vista and the Misty Rainforest to make this mana base function. Yeah, they've milled all my fetchable blue sources besides 2 more basic islands. Yeah, I think you're really happy to draw the first Prismatic Vista. It is sometimes awkward to draw 2. I've played 2 in these kind of decks before, but you're basically always happy to draw the first one. So I really liked 1 Vista in these kind of decks. You could definitely play more if you wanted to, though. Breeding Pool. Yikes. Played well around Force of Negation. Yeah, when I paused on the Glimpse the Unthinkable, I think is when my opponent realized I had Force of Negation in my hand. Let me just triple check that I don't have a 4th blue duel. I'm like 99% sure. Yeah. Well, no reason to let a freshly drawn trap do anything here. Oh, they surgicaled me. I don't know. I also forgot this. Yeah, I forgot that they had surgicaled me. Thank you. I did consider Moorland Haunt over Castle Ardenvale. They both have their strengths and weaknesses. And I'm not 100% sure which I think is better. I have liked the castle, I know. You know. But it is possible that Haunt is secretly better. Celestial Recall is pretty good, huh? Might just be going to game 3 here. Like, these can't get blue mana, our hand's so bad. To be on the play for game 3. Probably a little favorite on the play. Yeah, Castle Ardenvale works really well with Sword and Feast and Famine. We also only have 17 creatures, which does mean you don't always have full food for the Moorland Haunt. Another thing to note is, like, especially in blue matchups, when you're just sitting back on your counter spells for the first few turns, a lot of times you can just play Castle Ardenvale and start activating it, which you can't do with Moorland Haunt without having creatures die first. And especially against blue-white control, your creatures aren't dying. It's kind of interesting. But what another notable thing is a Moorland Haunt also always enters untapped, but Castle Ardenvale actually taps for a color. So like those are two other things to think about. Making flyers with Moorland Haunt is also really relevant with the swords. So I have put a lot of thought into it. I do think Castle Ardenvale is better, mostly because like specifically against the control matchups, Castle shines so much, and that's usually when you're activating these cards anyways. But it is definitely a conversation, and I could absolutely see like testing out Moorland Haunt and realizing I was wrong the whole time. Double Antonice is good if they're on crabs. That's like our only way to beat the crabs. I think I'm gonna keep. I'm also gonna fetch on my first turn just in case they have the trap. There was another point I wanted to make. Oh, I was also trying out a Manamo to untap Toski so it could block. I always have it. But it was every time I drew it was worse than basics. It was worse than Snow-Covered Island, so I decided to cut it. Oh, no. We want to we don't want to open ourselves up to Field of Ruin. Should you be fitting Castle Locthwain into Martyrblade? Probably. Castle Locthwain's a really good card. Well, I'm really happy we have double Antonice for the double crab draw. We're gonna need to draw some threats as soon as we possibly can, though. And they've milled my Stoneforge, my Batterskull, so my Stoneforges are much worse. I only have a Feast and Famine left in the deck. Yeah, my deck is pretty threat light now. Oh yeah, the Feast and Famine's just in my hand too, of course. I have been playing against Mill more and more. It's possible it's time to finally add a sideboard card back in the deck for the Mill matchup. This is fine. I think I'd play Gaia's Blessing. I think if you're green, you play Gaia's Blessing. You can side in Gaia's Blessing against Dredge too. Would the legendary Fearland be good for Toski if you play a black deck? Maybe. Definitely be something to think about. Queller's good. Alright. If we can hit them with sword on top with... If they don't have like land drown or fetch land push or dispute here, we're doing good. They did fire off that other dispute pretty aggressively. Hold. Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness. I think we're going to win. Yeah, Veil of Summer is a good pickup too. What a swing. They did have Fatal Push, but they didn't have Revolt. Dude, Spell Queller is such a resilient creature. Such a resilient creature. I'm doing well, Double Wave. Thanks for checking in. How are you doing? Thanks, Stove. Yeah, the stream has been growing like crazy lately. I think it's probably mostly to do with the modern format being so exciting right now. So I'm kind of not expecting it to last this long, or last forever. That's how like growth on your channel goes. It's like, you know, trending upwards with, you know, crests and valleys. Lurrus in the hand is interesting here. Alright. Castle Ardenvale, looking good. Haps, 9 months. Thank you for your resubscription. Hope you're having a good day today. Yeah, that's true. A good way to get more viewers is to have more viewers. You know, that's definitely a real thing. They don't have anything they can get back with Lurrus right now. So I'm supposed to equip onto a human. If I do, I can't make an extra token. If I deal 1 more damage. I'm glad that the SCG liked my rug deck. I think that deck is cool for sure. I might play a league of it today. But I'm having a real good time just like relaxing playing a bunch of this deck though right now. I think I'm just gonna not use the floating mana. Whatever. They discarded Drown. Yeah, I agree that it feels like the market for people who stream like exclusively modern feels a little bare. There's lots of good people who do, but there's just so many people who stream Arena. Are they gonna attack with Lurrus? Oh no, I didn't leave a black mana or green mana. Okay, don't think it's gonna punish me. So I have the Force. Just as soon as I did it, my heart skipped a beat. I mean, my opponent's just, they're just dead next turn. They're discarding their last card. Invisible Stalker is such a fun one. I like Stalker, kind of. What do I have to say about Fran? I really like Fran's stream. I think Fran's one of the best modern streamers. Fran, Yama Killer, Doomwake, Everose. Giglio's pretty good. Diablo's good. There's lots of really great modern streamers. I don't think paying 2 life matters at all when my opponent is top decking, you know? Like, there's no world where I ever need to cast more than 1 spell here. How does this deck play against Jund? It's fine. I don't know. The matchup's probably very medium. It could have been relevant if they draw Bobble to double draw. I will Force of Negation Bobble. So you're wrong again. Haha. Jabberwocky's probably playing Lurrus Jund, so I guess we're finding out how good the Jund matchup really is. Nice to be at 20, so Jabberwocky can't just slam Lurrus. Mulliganing on the play is a really big problem here. In your defense, yeah, I missed it, yeah, but you're right. Not a big deal, right? Could just be red-black. Can Jund ever beat a squirrel? Regular Jund has Liliana, but Lurrus Jund doesn't, so it's much harder. Got a lot of good cards in this matchup, but again, just mulliganing on the play is really something you don't want to do here. Yeah, Brutality gets it too. I don't know if they're on Brutality, though. They might be. Don't think I'm going to Remand Thoughtseize. Thought about maybe playing out Sword of Feast and Famine. But I'm restricted to just one Unthanize a turn, so if my opponent has another 2-mana threat, it's just such a disaster. That's true. Shadow does have Dismember. That is actually a relevant thing. Yeah, I think we play this so we can play an Equip Hierarch next turn. I think I'm going to Unthanize the Scourge. Could be better to hit the Shadow, I'm not 100% sure. Inyera, 7 months in a row. Hope you're having a good day today. Appreciate ya. Hey, let's just all talk shit about other streamers. I don't know if you're talking about the Everett Mohan thing, but the joke is that's me. Or I'm not sure exactly what you're getting at. Yeah, we have a rule about not talking shit about other streamers, but and I appreciate you calling out what you perceive to be shitty behavior. I definitely am not upset about it, but that's me, you know. Yeah, it's my real name. And it's kind of like that joke is because my Twitter handle is my name, right? And someone I was talking about brewing a deck on stream one time, and someone came in and said, "But you didn't brew this deck. Mohan Everett did," which is me. And so it's kind of funny it's happening again. But we do have a rule about, you know, not shit talking other content creators on here. So I do appreciate you calling out what you perceive to be bad behavior. It's a lot of threats. Pretty sure we have to attack. These go to 8/8. It's probably just not good enough. I don't think we have another line. I think we're making another blocker rather than move the sword over, right? And then we're going to draw Sword of Fire and Ice and win. Sorry, my pop filter is also being a bit weird. Watch out for TBR. I don't really think I can probably afford to play around it. I mean, no real point to forcing that, right? Not that I'm bored. That too, I need one more removal spell than the TBR. Right, it's gonna have to be good enough. Does 2 pop filters help? Probably not. You think if they move it to stop Lurrus from attacking? I can't block Lurrus here, probably. They also might not attack with Lurrus. Probably will. But like, if I had moved it, I guess I could have moved it and held up Force. Maybe that was the line. But we're not beating, you know, anything here. Okay, tough game 1. Again, just mulliganing on the play always feels so tough in this matchup. But we do have a lot of sideboard cards, which is nice. So we get to get rid of these Force of Negations and Spell Quellers. That's right, I finally had the courage to say it. We can maybe play 1 Force. I'll often cut the 4th Stoneforge and the Fire Ice too against this deck. Might also want to play Gargaroth. Gargaroth does dodge Bolt and Push and Dismember. Yeah, Gargaroth is good here. Just sometimes it's smaller than their guys. Let's do this. Is it crazy to be on the draw? Yeah, it is because of Veil of Summer. With Veil of Summer in your deck, you always want to be on the play. But just mulliganing on the play is such a disaster in this matchup. It is just a huge disaster. I'm going to play basic Forest Go here. 1, because I don't want to fetch on turn 1 anyways. necessarily. Yeah. Oh, did you see Jabberwocky paying costs, then stopped paying costs there? Stopped paying costs. Feels so good. But we're bluffing Veil of Summer by playing the forest there. But I'm also like not necessarily wanting to fetch anyways. I think I'm gonna wait one more turn here. All right, now I'm gonna get Floodplain Island, or maybe Floodplain Plains. Yeah, I guess maybe better to not. Now that I've drawn Ice-Fang, probably just better to not run out the Stoneforge Mystic into a removal spell this turn. Just blank Jabberwocky's mana for the 3rd turn in a row. Hey Tango, I'll take the deck tech in a second. Give me a second. I don't think I'm supposed to mana leak there. I just have all these Anthonices, but I'll mana leak the second one. I think the first one was not something I wanted to mana leak. We drew the Veil of Summer. Perfect. I might need to wait on this. Green, white, death and taxes. This looks pretty good. Hold on. That's not gonna be the whole thing. Let me just get acquainted with it real quick. Honestly, I'm not sure that I dislike any of these choices. I might try to find room for the 4th Flickerwisp, maybe over. I always had the Veil of Summer Jabberwocky. You should always respect my bluffs. So lucky. I probably don't want to just like slam the sword here into Blood Crypt, so I'll just attack with the Ice-Fang. Do you really think that attack is good? And then I'll hold up Mana Leak / Stoneforge activation. Honestly, this list looks really good. I probably would play more Temple Gardens than this list. Potentially like one less basic, more Temple Gardens. I also think 4 Horizon Canopy is pretty bad in this current metagame, so I'd be playing like maybe 2 of those. So like 2 Plains, 4 Temple Gardens, 3 Canopy. Just drawing 2 Canopies makes it so easy to just die to the Swiftspear decks. I think I'm gonna put in Feast and Famine here. Oh, a weird spot. I might cut the 3rd Toski in this deck for Flickerwisp. I feel like taxes it's kind of harder to play more 4-drops in this deck potentially, especially with just 21 lands. It's probably fine though. Sideboard looks good too. Good list. Good starting point. Do I have a thought process for choosing which land to Antonize? It doesn't really matter. Like you should think about which one you don't want them to Assassin's Trophy, and you should play around Boil if you can, or if you think you should. I think I'm just gonna path here. I kind of really don't want them to ever be able to recur Luris if they can deal with the Anthonize. It's a really good draw. Well, 21 lands, 4 Hierarchs. I don't know if that's fine. Might need one more. Especially if you have the Ghost Quarters. It's an incredible top deck. Really rewards us casting Path too. Last turn. Is this game over? Probably. They're going to bolt the Stoneforge Mystic or the Ice-Fang, and I'm just going to get to... They're going to Dismember. I'm just going to get to equip and then cast Batterskull. Almost F6, just as a brain fart. Because sometimes I'll like just think about the whole turn, and I'll F6 and because my brain thinks I've already performed the whole turn. Notably, if our Batterskull gets to hit our opponent somehow, and my opponent's not dead somehow, then we get to bounce the Anthonize and the Scourge automatically dies. tried Inscription yet? I did. It wasn't that good, but it was fun. All right, I like my sideboard plan. I think I'm just resubmitting. Yeah, Jabberwocky definitely flooded out. Also, but how good was that basic forest bluff? I think it was pretty good. It definitely worked. Because we saw Jabberwocky go to pay cost and stop. Main deck Veil. No, that was game 2. I'm not that crazy. Yeah, main deck Veil of Summer sideboard the Spell Quellers and the Forces. That was just a deck that a viewer submitted. I usually go over lists on stream for channel points, or $5. I'm sure they'll post it in chat again for you if you ask nicely. I'm gonna get Temple Garden here so that I can play Stoneforge Mystic on turn 2, even if my Hierarch dies because of the Castle Ardenvale. Is Jabberwocky another streamer or viewer, or do I just like saying their name? Jabberwocky is another MTGO user like me, but kind of the greatest of all time. Really, really good player. Someone that I also have had the pleasure of, you know, we haven't talked very much, but we played against each other in the finals of a PTQ like 3 or 4 months ago, and we that's kind of how I met Jabberwocky, even after knowing who Jabberwocky is. One of the best MTGO players of all time. We chatted a bit after our match, so definitely a friend of the channel. Yeah, Logan Nettles, I should have said that for sure. Just great Magic player. Reed Duke's cousin, right? Yeah. Has very strong hand this game. Probably not going to be beatable. Yeah, known for playing a lot of Jund. Did well in the last mocks with Jund. Takes the Batterskull. Is he good to chump block here? I don't think so. Right on time. I guess you didn't really have a window for this, so sorry for blaming you, Veil of Summer. Well, I guess no point in blocking here. Is Swiftspear standard in Jund Shadow? Yeah, Swiftspear is the best creature in Modern, so any deck that can make it work like this deck wants to. I'm trying to open up my third eye and figure out how I can possibly win this game, and I'm not really seeing it. I guess if we get to like Veil of Summer, a discard spell here, and draw like Ontanice, I don't know. Ice-Fang into Ontanice next turn. Supreme Verdict would have looked pretty good. I can't believe you'd say that to me. Yeah, not even getting to cycle the Veil here stinks. I'm very much not a fan of Verdict in this deck with like 20 plus creatures. Although 3 of them are Toski. Oh wait, we're just dead. Oops. Whatever. I guess we could have gone even like Ontanice into or Ice-Fang into Ontanice doesn't get the job done. Good match, Jabberwocky. GG. Maybe a Sell the Wreckage in the side. I mean, we have a ton of spot removal. Like they had, I don't know. This hand's good. I guess I'm putting back Batterskull. Could put back the second Teferi and have a Batterskull already in hand. I think I'll just put it back though. The Verdict also like just sometimes is way too slow and you just end up being dead against these Swiftspear decks. Or you're not actually dead, but they just, finish you off with a bolt. Because you have 4 mana removal, not 1 mana removal. Just like those Swiftspear decks and most Swiftspear decks in general are not super threat heavy. Alright, against Temple Garden, I think I'm getting Sword of Fire and Ice. Could live to regret this. Alright, feeling good about our decision right now. Now, do I want to go... I think I'm just holding up mana here. We can Mana Leak Skyclave Apparition, and we can ignore Spike Feeder, we can ignore Heliod, we can ignore Ranger Captain, kind of. Yeah, this is pretty good. Just, you know, equip the sword, kill the Auriok Champion, hold up Mana Leak next turn. Thoughts on Castle Ranches for actual control deck? I'm really high on both the blue and white castles and control decks. Clearly we need to play, yes, the Doomskar, the 3 mana spell. It's actually kind of good against Thoughtseize, huh? Our draw has lined up so incredibly well against our opponents, it's just not even funny. I think I'm gonna be fine missing out on 1 extra damage for the upside of drawing a 2 mana counterspell here. It's kind of a close decision though. Also get to bounce the Heliod, which is really nice. Toski. There are some pro-white swords, but I don't think any of them are good enough to play. I'm really low on Sword of Light and Shadow, personally. I promise I've cast the card. It's Ballista. Ranger Captain for Arbor Elf, looks like. So I imagine Arbor Elf is chump blocking this turn. So I think what we want to do is play Teferi Time Raveler, bounce Arbor Elf, and then if they want to chump block, they have to chump block with their Ranger Captain. And I think I'll also play Toski. Oh, never mind. Maybe I could have. I don't know. Holding up Queller seems really good here. Slash Ice-Fang. I'll also shock just in case I want to Ice-Fang into another 2-drop. Ginger Dolphin redeemed Sing a Song. Thanks for notifying me. Haven't been looking too closely at chat. So I will sing the next card I draw. I'm glad that that option has ended up being as popular as it has been. Makes me feel very confident. Yeah, I think I don't. It's kind of bad if they have. A Ballista in their hand, but I think we can afford to not Queller there. Although maybe I was supposed to Ice-Fang in response, just in case I saw like Mana Leak. On thin ice! Not my best rendition, I guess. And also probably not my worst one. Is this a good matchup with the nut draws? I don't know. I think it's kind of medium. If my opponent has just land Ballista here, we don't die. We can Queller it. Sorry. I don't know why I was thinking I couldn't Queller it. I think the matchup's pretty close. Adding a Jace, the Mind Sculptor, to our deck, so we're not just dead to Infinite Life, has made me feel much better about the matchup. Although I'll still stop them from gaining Infinite Life here. If they go X3, you can't Queller. Yeah, but then they don't combo off, so it doesn't really matter, I think. I think I'm trimming a Toski. I have been trying to figure out the best sideboard plan, and I'm not 100% sure. Like, part of me does like Gargaroth because it doesn't get Skyclaved and just dominates the board, but is really soft to their combo. I think it's just a bit too slow. Why add Path and remove Onto Nice? So being able to break up their combo at instant speed is really high priority. I still want some amount of Onto Nice because the card is good against Conclave Mentor and Arbor Elf and Auriok Champion and just like cast Spike Feeders, but this is the split that I want in this matchup. I think I want one Force. I really go back and forth on the number of Force I want in this matchup. Like, I'm worried about Choke, I'm worried about Collected Company. Sometimes Path is important. Yeah, I think Manaba was worse than an Island Joe, and I am liking the 75. I think I'm pretty happy with it right now. I think the list is pretty tuned. Force seems a bit worse in the metagame now with all the prowess of green-white decks. Force is like usually very good in Stoneforge Mystic decks just to protect this at the very baseline. But no, I think Force is still pretty good. Just such a unique and powerful effect. But you don't have to play it, you know. But like, especially in Stoneforge Mystic decks, I think you should. Inscription of Abundance in the sideboard. I tested out Inscription of Abundance to see if it was good tech against Shadow decks Wednesday, and I did kill a Shadow with it, but I didn't feel like particularly that good. Which key is this list tuned in? I'm not very musically inclined, so someone will have to finish that joke for us. If I was going to add one more Jace to the main, what would be my cut? I mean, I guess a Toski, right? Because you're adding another 4-mana card advantage spell. But I would not add another Jace to the main. And I would not play less than 3 Toskis. I would play this list. I recommend to you this list. So, do with that information what you will. Opponent with no mana accelerant is so good against it, or good for us here. They did mulligan to 6 as well. I think if you want to play 2 Jace in this deck, it's because you own 2 Jace the Mind Sculptor, and you really want to make sure you didn't waste $100. Which is not a good reason, in my opinion. Grand Abolisher, huh? Well, main phase in, I guess. I mean, Abolisher's not that good against our specific hand. Kind of a scary card, though. I feel personally attacked by this Jace comment. Yeah, I think it's because I was right on the nose. Is the floodplain necessary? The floodplain has been good. Necessary is, maybe not. I don't know exactly what your definition of necessary is, I suppose, but it's been good. I'd recommend playing it. I've played conservatively 100 matches with this deck, probably closer to like 120, 130 right now. So I feel like the list is pretty tuned at this point and pretty good. This 1/1 Ballista? Really? Wow. Weird. Interesting. That's an interesting draw too. No, I'm probably just gonna Needle Ballista. I don't think they're gonna ping in response. If they do, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to name Arbor Elf or Spike Feeder. Wouldn't I Needle Heliod? I don't think so. Needling Heliod only shuts off. I get they can activate it for value, but this also shuts off the Heliod combo. But it doesn't stop Spike Feeder Heliod because they don't need to activate Heliod as part of that loop. So it's better to name Ballista, I think. They can still activate Heliod for some value, but I think it's better to stop them from activating Ballista for value. And then I'm going to play another Ice-Fang because I have to play all at main phase here. Then we can also find Ontonice or Hierarch. That is Ontonice or Hierarch, and I think I'm going to kill the Abolisher. Oh, we could maybe take the Arbor Elf. I'll just take the Abolisher. Card's obnoxious. Isn't Birds of Paradise just a better Pilgrim in this deck? I mean, Pilgrim has a power for Toski, but I'm not playing either, and I don't think you want more than 4 dorks. Oh, sorry, you're still talking about the... That, yeah, never mind. I encourage you to try it if you think that Pilgrim is good. I don't think that it is, though. Okay. So we're dead to... No, Skyclave Apparition doesn't kill us right now. Okay. I have typed up my spiel. I have outs to infinite life. I have this Jace the Mind Sculptor in my hand, but they should gain a bunch of life so that I can hit them with swords and Toskis. What's the out? It's Jace the Mind Sculptor. You guys know it's Jace the Mind Sculptor. You guys know. It's okay. Have I played any more Urza deck? No, I haven't. I might play a league today though. We'll see. Kind of just feeling maybe playing all. They got a Ballista. Wow. Why do I tell my opponents that? Well, there's 2 things you can do here, right? You can make a gentleman's agreement to treat your opponent as if they're at infinite life, or you can say this is Magic Online and I don't really care. I like to make a gentleman's agreement and treat it as if they're at infinite life. I think it's more competitive. I think that you get better testing. I think that ends up being a better experience. But if my opponent's at infinite life, I'm still going to want to hit them with Toski. All my creatures with Toski, with swords, with Batterskulls to gain life for myself. So I want them to know that I'm going to treat it as if they're at infinite life. But even though I'm treating it as if they're at infinite life, I'm still going to attack them if it's beneficial to me. I won't attack them if the attack doesn't benefit me by drawing a card. But in this like here, I'm going to play Toski and attack them for 3 and draw 3 cards. And eventually, the goal is going to be so ahead on card advantage that I'll be able to deal with all of their creatures and then play Jace and eventually ultimate Jace and mill them out, even though they're at infinite life. Yeah, and if I don't tell them that, they're like, oh man, why am I sitting here? I guess my opponent has an out to infinite life. It's just, I think, better to make the agreement, you know. Let's hope they don't have Archangel. Yeah, we still die to things. We die to Conclave Mentor or Archangel of Thune. I'm still going to attack them. We can draw a Path or an Anthonice in our 3 draws and get rid of the feeder. I do think that we need to start pushing our advantage a bit, and and winning through card advantage here. That is our real win condition, even though we have a Jace. We're going to win through card advantage is the plan. They're probably good at this total. Probably not with Sword of Fire and Ice and Feast and Famine in my deck. I think that they should honestly probably gain like 300 or 400 life. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a coder. I don't know how they could fix it. All right, now I'm going to Anthonize Spike Feeder so that I do not lose to Archangel of Thune or Conclave Mentor here. Yeah, I'm not, I know that there are like theoretical fixes for this. I'm just not sure exactly the best solution. They put the counters on the Ballista, which again can't be activated because we have Needle on Ballista. For those of you who would have named Heliod instead, ha! Your Ice-Fangs would be dead. They have another Coco, maybe? This could be just a... We know they have a Ballista in their hand. It is another Coco. They Conclave Mentor Spike Feeder, they kill us. This is maybe fine, I'm not sure. They get an Arbor Elf. So we're taking 6 down to 7. That's a lot of damage. We probably need to leave back some Ice-Fangs to block here. Remember, Toski has to attack. I'm gonna leave back 2 Ice-Fangs here. Another 1-mana removal spell would be really good here. That's a good draw too. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna go ahead and bounce their Heliod, I think. Guess I could maybe bounce this Onthanice. Was that better? I guess that doesn't let us play the Spell Queller. They didn't. Oh, they didn't block Toski. Yeah, that's weird. I just noticed that. What am I discarding? Probably Basic Island. We're gonna be drawing a lot of cards. So should be hitting our land drops, right? Could have maybe have discarded a Mana Leak, right? So if they attack with everything, we go to 2. If we don't get to play a creature first. Aha, but they are walking right into my Queller. Am I going to Queller? Yeah, I'm definitely Quellering that. Or should I Mana Leak this? We have Teferi in play. So they would need to throw away their whole board, actually. Yeah, I think with Teferi in play, it's fine to Queller. The combo of Teferi plus Spell Queller. The undefeatable combo. You can't leak. They didn't have 3 mana. Oh, sorry, Ranger Captain, of course. Sorry, you were right. I couldn't leak. Wow, chat was right. Chat is right a lot. Chat is right a lot of the time. I think I'm just attacking with Queller and Toski here. And am I going to Petty Theft? I think I Petty Theft Ranger Captain just so they can't turn off my Mana Leaks. Yeah, as again, not blocking Toski. I get it, Toski's scary. We're definitely playing a weird game too. I'm gonna wait a turn on this Jace as well. Opponent might be trying to deck me, I don't know. Probably not, right? The stack is a Grand Abolisher, so let me go ahead and use a Spell Queller on this. Couldn't you cast Leak there? They did already sack the Ranger Captain the last turn, yeah. Opponent's hand is Ballista Heliod Mystery card. That's a good mystery card to get to Leak. Notably, if we play Jace without a protection for another Skyclave apparition, we may just be losing. So maybe it's good to wait until we find another protection spell. I think we probably have that luxury, right? Or maybe we just jam it here because we're so likely to find one. We also know their exact 2 cards are Heliod Ballista, so we can just plus. But says, can you really win through Infinite Life? I think they're just trying to fight, wanting to concede. Cool. No room for Apparition in the sideboard? I don't know. Apparition's kind of tough on the mana, I found. I know we're playing Auriok Champion, which is 2. But I feel like Skyclave is a better main deck card than a sideboard card. We got back-to-back 4-1s so far with Squirrel.